Hi, my name is Nicky and I'm the Office Manager at Talent Recruitment, and today I'll be speaking to you about your CV presentation. Now this is something I feel very passionate about, and I often joke with my friends, show me your boyfriend's CV and I'll be able to tell you all about him. Your CV really is a look into your life, and you can tell a lot about a person just from their presentation and just their work history as well. So the most important part of having a CV is making it memorable and presentable. A lot of people don't put a lot of effort into their CV presentation. They literally write a Word document, black and white, they put the basics, and that's what their CV is. Although that's functional, there is a lot more that you can do to make your CV stand out. The reason why I'm telling you this is because an average recruiter gives a CV 6 seconds of their attention. You want to make those 6 seconds as memorable as possible. Ways in which you can do this is actually putting a picture of yourself. Trust me, we love seeing your faces on your CV. Now make it professional, no duck faces, but put a nice professional picture of yourself, just your head and your shoulders, and it helps us remember you. So 3 pages is the recommended length. I really wouldn't go anything beyond that. If you have an extensive work history, say 20, 30 years of work history that will not fit on 3 pages, what I suggest you do is you actually condense it as much as you can. But also what you can do is just say, work history from before 2000, you can request and you can see in the extended CV. So what I have personally is I have a 1-page CV, and then at the end of that CV I say, for an extended CV, please request it and I can send it to you. So a 1 or 2 page or maybe even 3 pages is brilliant for the first presentation, and then you can make a longer length CV requestable. Next, I would make sure that your spelling and grammar is on par. I promise you, this is something a lot of people look over, especially because your CV often has a lot of text in it. I mean, when creating a CV, I had to check 3 or 4 times just to make sure there was no spelling errors. I'd also suggest having other people have a look through your CV, because there will be little things that you miss, even just small spelling errors. It is very important. I've had certain companies that refuse to hire candidates purely on spelling errors on their CV. Trust me, it's very important you double check your CV. Also make sure your font is easy to read. I have some candidates who submit their CVs purely in cursive. Cursive is difficult to read for some people, so I would make your font as easy to read as possible. And also make sure your CV is logical and chronological. So in your work experience, start off with your most recent job and then work your way back. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have an extensive work history, 30, 40 years, I would stop maybe about 10, 20 years ago, and from there, so you can request the extended CV. After that, make sure that you include your education. A lot of people include degrees that they haven't actually completed. So they may say a BA degree 2013 to 2014, and someone who doesn't know any better might think, oh, they achieved their BA degree in 2 years. Wow, okay. But that's not possible. And a lot of people think that, stating 2013 to 2014, it's logical. You didn't finish it, therefore we should know it's incomplete. But a lot of people don't think that way. If you haven't finished your qualification, you need to state there, incomplete. And you may even include the reason why if you want to, but you have to state that certain qualifications are incomplete. Some people don't want to include qualifications that are not complete on their CV, and that's perfectly fine. But if it's relevant to the job you are applying for, I strongly suggest including it. Just because it makes, even if you've only done 6 modules in HR during your 1 qualification and you're applying for an HR job, those 6 modules can count towards your job. I would also include any software packages. This is especially important for IT, accounting jobs. If you've used Pastel or Xero, whatever the case may be, this is really important for the job you're applying for. I would include it on your CV. Also, the reason why is because recruiters often use keyword searches, and a client might tell us, we will only accept someone who's used Pastel before. And when searching for your CV on the internet, we're going to use the word Pastel. And if your CV does not have it on your CV, it will not be picked up by us. I would also include in your CV, in your job description, I would say include as much as possible, but don't overdo it. I'd say 5, maybe 10 bullet points under each job is what you need for your duties. Something people don't often think about is achievements. This is actually really important to include on your CV. I'd have a little section for achievements, something like, I achieved academic colours in high school. You might think high school was years ago, but it's a nice indication that you're an achiever. Something like, I excelled the KPIs in my company for the year, I achieved my sales target and more. It's any achievements that you might have done in your career, even in personal life. So if you won the comrades and running achievements or sporting achievements, it just shows you're that kind of personality to achieve, and it shows in your work as well. For your references on your CV, I would highly suggest including all your previous references, and they must be your managers. A lot of people put their colleagues down as references. This is not valid. We cannot speak to your colleagues. We have to have someone who's actually managed you. So for your previous companies, this is possible, this is easy. Your last manager, even if they've left the company since you've left, that's okay. We can use their cell phone number, but we need to speak to your previous managers. Some people also happen to include their current manager's reference on their CV. I'm not too sure how people do this, because when you are putting your current manager's name and number on your CV, you're implying that they are contactable. If you don't want people to contact your current manager, do not put your current manager on your CV, because by putting it on your CV, you're implying that we can. And some recruiters don't ask permission, they just phone. As a recruitment agency, we always ask permission to phone every single one of your references, but some don't always check. So I would highly suggest not including any references that you don't want the person to contact. I would also suggest making sure your references are contactable. I often interview a lot of candidates and I say, can I phone this person? Can I phone this person? Yes, you can phone them. And then I phone them and the number isn't valid, or it's the wrong number. It's very, very annoying. So we need to make sure that your references on your CV are current and contactable. Another topic that people often don't know about including in their CV is a cover letter. I often have people ask me about how they should make their cover letters and if they should make them. This is something that different recruiters have different preferences. Personally, I would not include a cover letter. There's a very specific reason for this. 99.9% of candidates who send out their CV have a very generic cover letter, saying things like, hi, my name is Susie, I'm a hard worker, I'm the best employee you'll ever have, please hire me. And often they'll elaborate on their education or something like that, but all that information is normally found in the CV. Unless you're going to custom make your CV your cover letter to that person, I would not suggest doing it. So if you were to include a cover letter, you'd say, dear Nikki, I saw your advert on PNet. I got really excited. I saw that you needed admin experience in the logistics sector. I have that. I've done this for 10 years. I see you needed a BA degree. I've got my BA degree. Something like that would be an awesome cover letter. But if you're not going to customize your cover letter, please don't do one. How you're going to make a cover letter instead is included in your email. So when you send your CV through to the recruiter or the HR personnel, I would say, dear Nikki, I saw your advert, I'm the perfect person for the job, I have all your requirements, bam, 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 list the requirements, and then just attach the CV. Don't make a long story when sending your CV through, just like you wouldn't make a long story with a cover letter. Recruiters and HR personnel receive sometimes thousands of CVs a day. You want to make yours as short and as memorable as possible. Don't include any extra information if not needed. That will be found in your CV. You want your cover letter and your email to be as specific and to the point as possible. Always list that I saw your requirements, I've got them. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Don't lie and exaggerate. This is something that I find all the time on CVs. For example, a really recent example actually is the person called themselves a front-end developer. And I got very excited. I was like, oh my gosh, it's exactly what I'm looking for. Phoned them, I chatted about the job. They actually are not a front-end developer. All they do is mailers within a software development company. So I was very disappointed. Their job title was not what they are at all, and they were exaggerating everything that they had done, and that's not true. So any good recruiter or HR personnel will quickly find that out. But by us finding that out, you're wasting our time, and it's not great. So I would suggest not exaggerating anything on your CV, and also don't lie. I also want to include something that's actually been legalized recently, is in your qualifications, you're not allowed lying about your qualifications. You can actually go to jail for that. So don't lie about anything on your CV. Don't exaggerate anything on your CV. If you're unsure about how to present anything on your CV, rather speak to a recruiter, rather speak to someone who knows a bit more about CVs, and we can help you with that. But that's my tips for creating a good CV. If you want to know more, you're more than welcome to email or call me. My name is Nikki. I'm the Office Manager at Pro Talent Recruitment. You can call us on 031 265 2000, or you can email me on nikki@proappoint.co.za. Thank you.